Mute and unmute. Alright, let's see. Oh, got to mute the stream. Where is that? Not there. Okay. Oh no, I'm showing the second half. Whoopsie. Let's go to that part instead. Why is this not? Okay. That's muted. Okay. Let me call ALK. And we can begin. Why is this thing not? Hello? Alright, I'm gonna, let's see, briefly unmute the stream, see if I can hear you. Nope, okay. I think I have the desktop audio muted, probably. Yep, I do. Alright. Nope, okay. Unmuted. There we go. The desktop. So. Alright. How are you this fine day, my wonderful
I'm doing alright. Was able to get a walk in this morning and did not slip and crack my head open on all of the ice around here, so.
Ooh, yeah. How is it down where you are? Up here it's very white outside.
It's still fairly white, but the sidewalks are pretty clear by now. We did not get a ton of accumulation overall. We probably got like an inch at most, which was lower than what they expected. But we rarely, like, we've gotten like 3 sort of like biggest storms ever in the time I've lived here. And boy. Otherwise it's just like, oh, it like snows an inch and then it's fine.
All right, something is causing a lot of lag here. Let me open up that real quick. I just want to make sure I don't have a repeat of a previous issue. Where OBS slowly ate up. Okay, why is system interrupts taking up 90% CPU? That is not how that works. I think I'm just gonna close out of all these Chrome.
Yeah, it might be Chrome tabs that are doing it.
Yeah, it's a lot of tabs. Yeah, it's funny because like it's so cold outside, yet I'm kind of like really like warm in here. I don't know. It's the temperature control in this apartment is wonky. So
yeah, my indoor heater is not great, and my office is in a room with 2 outside walls and 2 very poorly insulated windows.
Ooh, yeah, like I've got like these big windows like right next to me. So it can get sometimes I wear gloves while I'm working here. If like
I actually just bought some pairs of fingerless gloves so I could work and have gloves on.
Let me grab my, still just tinkering around. I have here tallied the votes for if I'm gonna do Crucible of Worlds or Ancient Tomb. I'm not gonna bother counting them separately. If you were engaged enough to vote on both, congratulations, you get 2 votes. So I still think Crucible of Worlds is gonna win at this point. But yeah, so okay, for anyone who might be watching this on my YouTube or whatever, why don't you introduce yourself real quick? while
Yeah, I'm ALK Alters. I do digital Magic the Gathering alters and proxies, and I do other sorts of I'll say magic content casually instead of casual magic content.
Yeah.
That is to say, it is not my
that is to
full-time
say-
job, and I do not treat it like my full-time job.
Yeah, it actually is mine right now, which is weird. It's a weird place to be. Let me move this over a teeny bit. All right. I mean, I'm gonna be hunched over this anyway, so I don't think the face cam is really doing that much. But, so yeah, you are also one of the people whose work inspired me to get started. I think I just came across it randomly on Reddit at one point. During that, like, I think it was Xenagos specifically. I know I saw a Gruul card that I was like, whoa.
Was it that full frame Xenagos?
I don't know.
I'm still proud of that, how that one turned out, even though that's most of my work is like probably pretty easy to replicate, but that Xenagos did turn out pretty well.
Yeah, you are definitely. I feel like you have stuck to the notion of a card frame far better than I have, whereas mine is just what the hell is a card frame? Get that crap out of here. I mean, I guess my pixel art cards are actually have the most.
Yeah, your pixel ones are pretty card framey.
I mean, like, they have, like, boxes, but, like lately I've been on that kick with the goblins that are just, like, the text is just floating. Someday I'll make that secret layer that will never happen because I'm not someone that WotC wants to endorse by working with. But, you know, hypothetically it could happen. So, I think it is going to be time to, so I'm gonna real quick kind of go through how my pixel art stuff works. Oh, right, I have to not just minimize that, I have to actually disable that feed. So, pixel art is, in my opinion, probably where anyone who actually really wants to start doing alters and wants to get good results really fast is probably where you should start. Which is, like, I know that sounds really funny, but it really is, because there's so much, like, the fun thing about pixel art is that, like, the eye is willing to do so much to cover, like imperfections. Like, I think I haven't really improved as an artist in pixel art at all in the time that I've been active, but I've improved as an artist in other areas, like, a ton. Just because, like, pixel art, you can kind of get away with doing things very quickly, which is why we're probably going to do multiple cards on this stream. So, I am going to show off real quick. This is my sheet that I work, when I'm doing pixel art stuff, I work off of this sheet as my starting point. These are some fonts that I made, though, like, there's only so many ways you can combine pixels to make letters, so it's probably literally identical to some other ones.
And are all the letters the same width on those? They aren't
monospaced, and I do actually cheat a lot. Like, sometimes I'll take I and I'll knock the side parts off if I want it to, like, fit better. I now have these little loyalty symbols that I just added today because I was like, is it possible to make a planeswalker, a pixel art planeswalker? And the answer is yes, but I think it's just Jace. I can't think of any other
a planeswalker with shorter text.
Yeah, the thing is, like, most of my pixel art cards are like one line of text on a regular card, and I often, like, aggressively shorten it, like like my fetch lands literally say fetch. Like, there's so much shorthanding that happens, but in this case, when they keyworded mill, that kind of knocked this one down to just 3 lines, which is pretty cool. I was actually thinking, in chat, I was actually thinking one of the statics, but Narset and Ashiok have way too much text. It would, like, literally fill this entire box, because, like, it's only, like, keep in mind, each of these lines is 4 words long. I'm gonna go estimate how long the Narset one would be from War of the Spark.
Yeah, I'm just gonna look at the War of the Spark Walkers now.
Yeah, just consider like every 4 words or so, like with the words being this length, like how many lines of text would they be? I'm sure it is a ton.
Athena, you're fine. My wife is on the phone and I'm on the phone, so no one's paying attention.
No one's paying attention to the cats. Oh no, this is abuse.
My wife went to the store like a couple hours ago, and you would have thought that like Athena had been full on abandoned. Like how traumatized she was acting.
Right.
And I was like, you do realize at some point we're both going to be going back to work, and you are not going to know how to handle
the cat. I don't think they're ready for that information. Okay, what the hell is taking up all this memory? Why are there still 13 Chrome tabs open?
Chrome tabs are like rabbits; they just multiply.
I mean, especially being like, if I can even still see the favicons, I probably have only been on my computer for like a few minutes. Oh, that's really
You might be able to do Teo because his static is you have hexproof, and then he only has one ability, and it's pretty short. It's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 words. So that's 12 total words over 2 lines or 3 lines. That's 4.
Yeah. All right. Let me open up. All right, I have killed Chrome from Task Manager. I am just keeping an eye. All right. Okay. Okay. Sketchbook is using a lot of memory. There's still a lot of Chrome tabs. All right. Just jeez. Why are there so many Chrome tabs? I really hope it's not like Alright, I just want to make sure that my entire stream doesn't die as it has once before from a memory leak. And it just slowly got like laggier and laggier the entire time. Okay, alright, I see I freed up a fair amount of the memory. I am baffled as to why that is happening, but okay. Anyway, so sketchbook. I'm gonna say no. I'm gonna go with Crucible Worlds for pixel art stuff. So, to quickly go over the particular resolution that I work with when I'm doing pixel art is the actual card area. It's either 125 or 124. It kind of depends on how I feel about it that day. By 174 or 175, again, just kind of whichever I feel like. It honestly comes down to if I want to center an element with an even or odd numbered number of pixels like this. This Jace is even because I just wanted to do that. But yeah, so okay. I brought you on to talk about something entirely Magic unrelated, and that's the best part of streaming, is that I can pretend Magic doesn't exist at all. So let's talk about Slay the Spire.
Oh, the one I have open in a tab and was playing idly while you were talking about
that has been the game you've been listed as playing on Discord for like a year straight. I feel like
the thing is, and we'll talk more about it. It's the perfect game for this sort of like work from home atmosphere.
I definitely agree with that.
There's like the game never does. It's entirely turn based. The game never does anything without you first doing something and then letting it react. So you can like leave it idle for hours and just pick up and continue going on like where you just left off. And so like if I have some work to do, I'll do my work, I'll play a little bit. I'll get back to my work. It like helps me fill in the downtime. It's perfect for that because there's no like you don't have to commit to anything.
Mm-hmm.
Like at most other games require you to have an active commitment to the game, and that's great for those games. But like Slay the Spire is just perfect when you actually have to like you have something that you absolutely have to set down right now.
Mm-hmm. Pokemon was also a lot like that. I remember like when I used to work at a grocery store, like a night shift, whatever. Like when I was like several
Mhm.
years ago, and I would just have like Pokemon running on like an emulator.
Yeah. I never got into Pokemon on like phone emulators. I assume it was a phone emulator.
Oh yeah, I had I can't remember if at the time I had a jailbroken Apple device or an Android device, but yeah, like you can nowadays like there's perfect emulation of everything up to the DS, I think.
Yeah. I know like back in the day TS emulation was a little wonky, but I'm sure it's perfect now.
Yeah. I mean, I think like there's some rendering errors sometimes, but like that's about it. Um so yeah, I used to love just riding around like I think it was Omega Ruby I was doing it where just like breeding Pokemon where like you just like 90% of that is just like it's like starting the washing machine. You just load the machine, you know, you run back and forth, you let it spin, you know, and then you see what comes out kind of. I'm sure there's a better analogy than that, but
Hmm.
and yeah, that was like a really good way to like kill time kind of. Yeah, the nature of my working from home is often just that I'm drawing, even when I'm like, you know, if I'm like, um, you know, if I have time to kill. But I
Hmm.
also did, I got it on Switch, so if I have the Switch open, I tend to be a little more dedicated to it. But
Yeah. Yeah, I have it on Switch too, and it actually just got released on Android devices today.
what?
So
Oh
I
no.
just downloaded it on Android on my phone, which is I think like if I was still commuting, I was
Oh my
lucky
god.
enough to take the subway for the commute, and so like I could just play that for however long my commute was, and I would be perfectly
Oh
happy.
my god. That oof. Yeah, I was actually just so there's this is a complete tangent, but there's this like super crappy like Diablo clone game that I used to play like 10 years ago or whatever called like Pocket RPG. Um and I was just like, "You know what I want to play? I want to play that. I also want to time myself because I'm pretty sure I am the best person in the world at playing this game that nobody else on earth cares about." So it's like I could
Is there a
just
leaderboard somewhere?
no, I wasn't able to find one. So I was like, I should do a run and then submit it to be like, I demand that this be put on like speedrun.com or whatever. Um, but then I found out it had been bought by this like god awful like oh, it's a subscription service now, even though you bought this game previously.
Oh, geez.
It's like, oh, so I'm just like stuck. Like you literally have to like message them and be like, I owned this previously. Please unlock the features of the thing that I at least ostensibly owned, but you know, nobody owns anything these days.
Yeah, unless you steal it, then you own it.
Yeah, no, that's the thing. Like if I was just willing to crack the dang thing, I would have it right now. But and also that means like I don't feel like I can submit that to like any kind of speedrun anything because it's like you can't just buy the game.
That's what. Yeah, like I remember. Geez, like I got my first smartphone like a little. I guess a decade ago, and like back then it was like the whole like idea of mobile gaming was like supposed to be this revolution in games, and now it's just like everything is free to play.
Yeah, like I remember, like I had a iPod Touch back in the day when that maybe that's still a thing. I don't know. Um,
I doubt it.
but yeah, um, like I had an iPod Touch, and there was this like real, like very brief golden era where like they were just making full games that you could just buy for like a one-time purchase, and then you'd have the whole game.
Hmm.
Um, and then they realized that was less profitable than not doing that.
And then making bad gotcha games and
Yeah.
exploiting people's.
Yeah, that's actually why I thought about it, because it's like, I'm just Pokemon breeding is like a gotcha game, but that doesn't involve money. You're just like rolling dice. Um,
Hmm.
so yes, that's how my gambling addiction started. Um,
Not with the game corner.
no, I never really did that.
I
But
didn't
yeah,
either, just because it felt like such a, and you had to like convert your money, and
it was
felt
like
like such a
so
waste
many
of
steps,
time.
so much menu. Like, I
Yeah,
mean, that's too much.
the original Pokemon games, like I mean, they were groundbreaking games, but they were so broken, and they were so like you look back at them and like you just think about how much of those games are just menus with like limited animations.
Yeah, I mean, it's still it's still pretty cool. Like I mean, I recently I've been like because I'm one of those people that like watches a YouTube video while they go to sleep because
Mm.
some sort of deep like I don't know. There's definitely something to examine there, but um so I've been watching this series that's like Retro Game Mechanic Explained, and like so much of it ends up devoted to Pokemon just because like it was so crazy just how much data they were able to cram into those things, and like the compression algorithms are really interesting, and
Hmm.
I definitely think that like Pokemon is Pokemon the video game is I think has more in common with a card game than most video games. Um, like in terms of how they actually operate.
Yeah, I don't know much about the how the games actually work. I read once there's this Pokemon Yellow tool assisted run
Mm-hmm.
where the person basically like hacks the game to the point
Mm-hmm.
where it can like
Arbitrary code execution. Yeah, it's like it's really funny the kind of stuff that's possible just because like they were constantly having to swap like memory addresses in and out to try and get this immensely complicated game like running on this hardware that was never supposed to be capable of that sort of thing.
yeah, this hardware that at the time was ancient still because Pokemon came out in 97, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the Game Boy came out in 89.
Yeah, I mean, like, more or less, a Game Boy is like an NES, which was the 80s technology.
Hmm.
And there is no game on the NES as advanced as Pokemon, even if it is like 90% menus.
Well, Pokemon Gold and Silver.
Oh yeah, yeah, Gold and Silver, because the analogy is like Game Boy Color is like an NES, I guess.
Well, no, Game Boys, Gold and Silver are compatible with the original Game Boy. Crystal is color exclusive, but Gold and Silver work on the original
Did
Game
not
Boy,
know
which is
that.
ridiculous.
Hmm. This is an interesting crucible of worlds I've got going here. I feel like I have not. I have all I've done here is recreate a worse version of the original art. So I'm gonna hide that layer for now and experiment with something else. Um.
But a fun story from Gold and Silver is that Satoru Iwata, who was the late president and chief CEO of Nintendo at the time, was a programmer and took the code of the game basically home with him and like compiled it and like made a compression algorithm for a way so they could fit Kanto into the game.
Oh yeah, that I know that like Gold and Silver are like just insane. Um. For how Oh, but sorry. So the point I was making is that I think what makes the Pokemon games interesting as games is that they do have so much more in common with card games because they're about putting a lot of pretty simple pieces together that interact in really complicated ways. Like rock paper scissors is obviously like more of like a game. You wouldn't play a video game of rock paper scissors. Just probably wouldn't. Um, but Pokemon and its type system and its fairly simple use of stats as multipliers, like kind
Mhm.
of I think makes it act. I think basically I think there's a reason that Magic and Pokemon in particular have such a huge overlap. Like especially people who play the competitive versions of the games. I was one of them for a while. So yeah, that will somewhat roundabout bring us back to Slay the Spire. So, what is your favorite crazy shit you've done in Slay the Spire?
Um, I did make an infinite combo the one time.
Only
So
once?
that, yeah, just the infinite damage loop combo, which was pretty good, but it was like such a pain in the butt to pull it off. I
Yeah,
was like only doing it when I was like, okay, like I need to win this and I might die. So
yeah. That it is funny that like a lot of the Slay the Spire combos are like I can just win, but this is so goddamn tedious to execute. Um, what am I doing here? Let's do. I think I still want to go with this like green and metal motif though. Um, for me, I think what's funny is on my very first run with the Wanderer, I went infinite. I had it was just like a stance change deck, and
mhm.
every time I changed stances, I like returned a card to my hand, and like there was some and like I basically netted enough energy that I could just do it forever.
Huh.
Um, which
Yeah, I haven't done a ton with the Wanderer only
really
because, yeah, well, like at some point it just becomes too much thinking to like
I
to
I
play through your deck with her. It's like, oh no, I have to do like this stance and this, and then do I have a card to change back, and like all of that. It's just like,
That's so funny because I am the exact same with her. It's like I play this game to relax. I'm not so sure that I need to like be like doing like math lady meme in this video game right now.
yeah, that's why Ironclad is my favorite, just because like
Mm,
you like I just go like, oh, I know exactly what I'm doing. I'm getting
hit the
as much
guy.
damage as I can or as much block as I can.
Make number go big.
Make strength go up now.
Stonks. Or no, I guess it would be stronks.
Strong's. I had a I like I've had a lot of fun. I had a good run the other day with the the robot boy, whatever his name is, the
The
defect.
defect.
Um uh and I got like 3 or 4 of the static discharge ones. Wherever you take damage, you
Oh
channel
god, and
lightning, and
like
against
they touch you and you just hit them for like 80.
yeah, and like against the final boss, I was like, okay, I can handle this.
Which final boss?
The heart.
Oh, the heart. See, I have not beaten the heart on with any character.
I've beaten it with Ironclad and with Defect.
Yeah, I like. It's just like I die to the stupid arms all the time. Like every time I want to do it, I'm just like, all
The
right,
arms are so strong.
like I guess I'm just dead.
Yeah, and you get there and you like with no heal between the arms and the heart. It's really tough. But like that run I had like the static discharge, and I forget what exactly I did. I might have had the iron rod or the tungsten rod, which like lowers your the damage you take by 1.
That is one of those relics that I know is like, if you get this, you like I know part of the deal with the heart is like you just don't fight it on every run, and like you're not supposed to be able to beat it with every run.
Yeah.
I mean, I think that is an interesting thing about Slay the Spire is that it doesn't feel like the game is designed assuming you'll always be able to beat it, which I think is interesting.
Well, yeah, I think it's sort of like that roguelike spirit where like it's okay to lose and it's okay to like because all you do is like, oh yeah, I lost, I'll just fire up the game again and go for another run.
See, that's interesting because, like, I used to do streaks in The Binding of Isaac, which is, like, where you're an absolute insane person, and you play as the Lost, which is a character that dies in one hit, and then you win the game and see how many times you can do it in a row. So, like, I do. And, like, I think part of it is just that, like, I am better at, like, twitchy games than I am, like, games where I have to think. It's just.
Yeah, now I get that.
It's just the nature of it. Like I used to speedrun Dark Souls all the time, but like thinking, ooh, I don't know about that one.
That's why, yeah, and that I think I'm the like the exact opposite because like I can't get into Hades, which everyone loves, and I can see why everyone loves it, but it's just like not for me.
Yeah, I totally get that, and I totally. It is a very cool game, but I can totally understand that there like it has a certain like I'm playing it with the what is it, God mode difficulty just cuz like I just don't have the patience for it. I'm like I am very glad that it has that option built into the game directly because without it I would have just probably put the game down and gotten like extremely frustrated.
Mm-hmm.
Um I also feel very glad that I have not really seen any toxic discourse about the fact that it has a mode where like your health just slowly goes up every time you lose, which I think is really like, you know, like the old meme of like the Dark Souls in an easy mode, which was always such a pleasant conversation to witness.
Yeah, that's my goodness, like
And it's
who
just like
cares?
and Hades just has it, and it's just not a big deal. It just isn't a thing. It just is there, and like a lot of I know like part of this is just like I'm getting old now, ripe old age of 26. I should be put in the ground already. Um, but yeah, like I don't know. I feel like I don't see that anymore, or at least I'm not seeing that about this. Obviously, there's like I feel like I'm exposed to a new brand of elitism in my new circles that I run in more, which is well, it's a thing.
I feel like every place you go, there's like a different type of elitism.
mm,
Like
that's
it's one of those things that I feel is sort of like endemic to people is that we like to create hierarchies and
I think that is very true. Oh, yeah, I need to turn my hair back. But yeah, I think Slay the Spire is definitely for anyone who might be in chat and likes Magic and has not played Slay the Spire. You should because it's really good. It's just like really good.
yeah, it has all of one of the things I really like about Slay the Spire too is I really love deck builder board games like Dominion. And other games of that ilk. And it's obviously been hard to impossible to play those games for the last year.
Oh yeah.
And like Slay the Spire just hits that nice feeling of like of being a deck builder.
Expand. Uh, I realized I've barely talked at all about what the hell I'm even doing, but you know, whatever. Oh, well, that'll work. So yeah, I might as well kind of quickly go over this particular sprite program I'm using and the cool stuff I can do. For anyone who wants to do sprite art stuff, I highly recommend this program. Based almost entirely on one feature, which I'm about to use, which is called shading. So you can see over here, I have these like sequences of colors set up. So if I select those, I go to my drawing thing, I'm going to increase this to be a little bigger, and then I set my mode to shading. Check that out. This is the way that I'm able to do pixel art, especially at the speed I'm able to do it. This thing is like 80% of that. Because there is like, you can add so much texture to...
Oh, that's really interesting.
Yeah, it's really useful. Like, I've just kind of scribbled a little bit now, and I've added a ton of details. But after hearing that, it was really good and couldn't play because I... Oh my god, yeah. It's funny. I'm in a similar situation. Blade of Gold Knight. So I got the Super Mario. I got the Super Mario collection, whatever.
3D All Stars.
Yeah, whatever the hell it's called. That. Because I just wanted to play Super Mario Galaxy.
Yes.
And I didn't feel like going home. Or going home, like going to my mom's house, which is 2 blocks away, I might add, to pick up my old like Wii or Wii U or whatever. So it's just like, you know what, I'll just buy this. But my girlfriend has absolutely sunk her teeth into Super Mario Galaxy, which I'm just like, I'm really happy about because she is not someone who has had like games literacy in her life. So like she's struggled with a lot of games that like I just consider like, oh, this is this game, and it's just like, I think that is something a lot of us take for granted, is that like if we grew up with games in our lives, we have like I love the term games literacy because it is so accurate to how that works. Here, let me add another shade so I can do that. I'm probably not going to need these skin tones, so. But yeah, it is. So have you gotten Arena on mobile yet, or just Slay the Spire?
I have not. I tried to, but apparently it is not suited for my phone due to aspect ratio issues. I think that's the reason.
Do you have like an old phone?
No, I have a wonky phone.
It's like a square.
Yeah. So it is. I'm honestly not that upset about not getting Arena though.
Oh yeah, same. I'm not. I'm sure I could, but I just don't care. It's like if I wanted to have that experience, I would open up the Switch and I would play I would just play Slay the Spire.
Yeah, because I don't spend any extra money on it while I'm doing that.
I feel like they may be playing a dangerous game where they're gonna create a lot of Hearthstone customers. You know, it's just I'm definitely glad that Arena existed because it was the way that I got back into Magic. When I did at first, when like I think one of my students recommended me a Spice 8 Rack video. The story the story of how I got back into Magic is like a who's who of people that are now my friends, which is just absolutely wild to me.
1 second.
Yeah, I will.
Sorry, there was a crashing sound, so I had to make sure everything was okay.
Yeah, like I think it was like one of my students recommended that I watch like this Spice 8 Rack video because like Well, okay, I guess I should say got back into the Magic community because I was teaching some kids how to play Magic at a summer camp that I was working at. Because
Hmm.
like my at least hypothetical job is that I'm a teacher, but um, teaching is miserable right now. Like it's just
Oh yeah.
maybe the least fun I've ever had, and that includes when I used to work at Starbucks. Um, and it's got to be something special to be worse than my experience working at Starbucks. That is not the right layer. Um, but yeah, like being able to get into arena, I think I had like a persistent petitioners deck, like, and I was just being an absolute shitlord on arena. Um, I think the way that I ended up in Commander was actually like I was watching like Tolarian Community College and like Spicy's Great Rec videos on my watching is not while I was driving, but like on my commute to and from the camp, which is in New York City. And like when you're like watching those videos enough, eventually like the command zone is gonna get recommended. And I was like,
Oh yeah.
I don't know why I had this idea that Commander was a dummy format and that I would never want to play it. Like I'd been aware of it for a while. I don't. I think it was kind of like for a lot of the same reason that I hated Planeswalkers for a while. Is that like I had this idea of like what the good times of Magic were, like this time when I was playing the game in like 11 when I was like 11 or 6 or whatever it was. And the time before Planeswalkers. And was like anything new is bad. How dare they? They changed it so it's bad, of course. As it always is. Ooh, that looks nice, but nah, not quite. So, like, I had this idea about Commander and not wanting to do it, but then I saw, like, I started watching Command Zone, and then I still had this idea, like, oh, game nights, that sounds dumb, I don't want to watch that. I don't know why. I just, like, had such, like, a hipster attitude about about the whole endeavor, which is very silly, considering I like despise deeply competitive like formats for the most part because they like cuz like, part of that is just like I remember when you needed to have like I just remember like I was in high school, or I think it was high school. It's hard to remember the exact dates because of like weird memory things related to this, but like there was this point where somebody just like had like a pile of planeswalkers in a deck, and I was just like, I didn't even like the idea of planeswalkers because like we were dumb kids, so we weren't tracking like numbers with like dice or anything.
Yeah.
So it was just like I was never real. I remain to this day convinced that some cheating was going on with those loyalty counts. But it was just like when you're playing against like Lorwyn 5 Super Friends, because that's what it was. You end up coming out with a pretty negative idea of how planeswalkers work. So yeah. What the hell was I talking about? This is why I love streaming not Magic gameplay, because I can just ramble and ramble and ramble.
You were discussing getting back into Magic, Command Zone, not liking Commander.
Yeah, so once I got over my weird doesn't make the slightest bit of sense with like how I actually play the game now. I was like, well, okay. I'm gonna need to do some proxies because I can't afford this garbage. So it's like, well, I did design like that Lightning Bolt and Damnation t-shirt a while ago. And I was like, what if I just put those on cards? And it's all been downhill from there. Everything has just gotten worse and worse, and now look at me. I am streaming myself drawing pixel art. My life is in shambles.
Your life is over.
Yeah, alright. What is it? Oh, I guess I want to do this one manually. Let me do this. Cheat with my cool dithering brush that I love. Nope, not that one. Where is the horizontal one? There we go.
I think that's what intimidates me most about learning how to do like computer art, like on Photoshop or whatever, is just like so many brushes.
Well, in my pixel art thing, I only have a few. Like, I have the circle, the square, and then I have one that helps me with dithering, I think. Or I have a couple that are just like a pattern that I needed at one point. Or like this one, which like is how I do like certain kinds of like horizontal dithered shading. Yeah, I definitely what drew me in. Ironically, like I would have always proxied, except when I was younger, I didn't have sleeves, which is a big F in chat for me, considering that I when I was younger, I had a deck with 4 Chrome Moxes in it. Anyway, yeah, no, I was like, oh god, how old was I? I was too young to be playing Affinity. That is for sure. And we didn't know that cards were banned, so it was a weird deck, cuz like I had like Mirrodin cards and Kamigawa cards in the same deck.
Hey, that was the standard at the time, I guess.
I mean, nobody was playing Kamigawa cards in standard.
Yeah, you play that the one that's good with Affinity. You play Mazawa's Jide.
Yeah, Jide and Divining Top, I guess.
Yeah. Even those wouldn't be good with Affinity. Because they're probably too slow.
Yeah, I mean, in truth, like, I wasn't playing, like, true, like, hardcore Affinity, because I was not, like, I was a dumb kid. How old was I? Let's see, I'm gonna find out, because I'm, like...
You must have been pretty young, because I was, like, 16, 17 was that when that was happening.
Well, so I started playing Magic when I was 6. Like, that was Onslaught block, I think? And then, let's see, oh, there's the green one, let's just get rid of that. Then I think, yeah, Onslaught block, but I didn't actually own my own cards until, what was it, like... I guess I think, like, Mirrodin Kamigawa. I think that was when I started owning my own cards. Flip that. Honestly, like, if you're... The main obstacle, in my opinion, to doing digital art is more, like, being able to draw, I guess. Because, like, honestly, for all the fancy brushes I use, they don't really do much. Like I have a few, like, when I am drawing, I have a couple, like, so-called fancy brushes, but most of them are just for, like, very specific, like, I have, like, a water texture brush that I use for everything, and then I have, like, a cloud texture brush that I use for everything, but then beyond those two, everything I just use are, like, some variety of a circular brush. I am nervous about my... Yeah, you know... Oh, God, I think I know what it is. It's all those stupid stonks things I coded during the GameStop thing. Oh, jeez.
Oh, that makes sense.
Yeah, I don't know if you saw / were in the game, because I can't remember anything. No, it was Nathan and Stephanie and Chase. Or I made a live GameStop ticker, and put it into my webcam. And we just live watched the GameStop stock prices. It was deeply stupid. And, yep, that is definitely what is eating up 40% of the memory on my computer.
Oh, jeez.
Um, I don't think I can fix that without like turning everything off either. So mm, like I have like 32 gigs of RAM. It's not that big a deal. Cause like this pixel art program could run on a friggin' SNES. Like that doesn't matter. Let me see. Yeah, it's using this entire program is using 75 megabytes of RAM.
Oh, jeez.
Literally could run on an SNES, I think. But yeah, whatever. I'll worry about that later / when it crashes the entire stream. What the hell was I saying? This is the reason that I refuse to stream without like other people around.
Without a guest, because you just lose track of everything.
I lose my mind. Well, also because like I already like a couple times a week am teaching, and that's basically like streaming to an audience of 0.
Mm-hmm.
Because they just will not interact no matter what the hell you do, and it is.
I like that. I really like the effect you've got going on there. The top orb of your crucible.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's.
So, are we just gonna point out that the Crucible of Worlds is an hourglass and not a crucible? Like,
So it's not an hourglass. It's actually a projection of hyperbolic space. That is how I'm interpreting it.
well, the original one is clearly an hourglass.
Is it an hourglass? Let me see. I was just kind of doing this from memory because I didn't want to like literally exactly recreate it.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, now that I think about it, yeah, no, it's an hour. Oh, wow, you're right. I mean, if it works, it works, I guess.
Yeah. I really love the inventions one with like the melted ether.
I don't remember what that one looks like off the top of my head, but
And then the New Worlds one is pretty good too. There are 2 World Championship promos, this Crucible from 2019 and this Balduvian Horde, which is stamped Japan 1999. Oh, Balduvian Horde, what a card.
What does it do? I'm not sure I've ever even heard of this card. What is it?
It's a 5/5 for 2 red. When it enters the battlefield, you have to sacrifice it unless you discard a card at random.
What was the stat line again?
5/5 for 4. They thought it was a huge deal when it came out in
honestly,
alliances.
Yeah, kinda. Like for the time.
I mean, for the time when creatures were terrible, like, but I don't know if it actually saw any real play. And then they but yeah, the real thing about the original Crucible of Worlds art that is like it's connected by all these planets that are just like lined up in a row. Which is like it's I still think I am adamant that it is supposed to be an hourglass.
I think it's I mean, I definitely don't actually believe it was intended to be hyperbolic space. It's just fun to interpret it that way. I also think I'm gonna do it in the opposite direction. I'm gonna have the green one be filling the silver one. Yeah, it's definitely one of the most like visually iconic cards ever. Like, I don't know. Can't really think of any others that are like more like literally so iconic that like there's even if I made like a textless version of this card, I don't think I would legally sell it because like it's so clearly the original.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I guess I could.
Oh, it's a you make the card. We can actually look up the art description for it.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it's an hourglass. People voted on it and it won.
Huh. Oh, was it like one of the? No, it wasn't like 10th edition. What was the
No,
one that
it was
like community designed almost?
it was community designed. Yeah, I posted it in the chat. The wrap up artifact article from 2003.
Oh, Twitch, right. That's a thing. That's a thing I can clicky on. You make the card to wrap up Crucible of Worlds. Yeah, that's an ROS. It is definitely a little weird. Like, okay, so like me as a nerd who knows too much about space, I'm like, those planets are not in stable positions. That would not be
Around this giant magical crucible.
Yeah, it's highly unrealistic. 0 out of 10. Fun
See me
fact:
after
did you
class.
know the Star Trek transporters? God, I would if I ever. I hate that like fun fact is an inextricable part of my vocabulary when it's like, if you ever think about it, it's like one of the most patronizing things you could ever say.
Yeah.
It's like, why must we all say this thing that is just really obnoxious? Did I?
Yeah, it makes you just sound like a real Neil deGrasse Tyson.
Oh, that looks very pretty.
And no, Star Trek transporters are not death machines because there have been several episodes where people clearly maintain continuity of experience and consciousness throughout the whole process.
I mean, I think there is an interesting philosophical discussion to be had there, but like, it's not one that anyone who's posting a well actually is like genuinely attempting to like create this discussion.
I'm also like one of those people who just has absolutely no time for those sorts of discussion. Like whenever people like start talking about like, oh well, you know, this type of food is actually this type of food, I'm just like, I don't care.
I don't care. There's definitely a whole wealth of such behaviors that I find utterly insufferable. That looks pretty cool.
Yeah, it's looking good.
Alright. Like the whole chai tea discussion. Wait, okay.
No,
No, sandwich chart is banned. We don't talk about that. But Waste Not, Vanishing Memory, Forgotten Ancient, or the other you make the cards. Forgotten Ancient, is that the one that like acts like a weird Harden Scales? Because I love that card.
No, it's Forgotten Ancient is the one that Managorder Hydra is the better version of. Except Forgotten Ancient, you can move counters.
Oh no, okay, that is the one I'm thinking of. I love how it's make your own Rhystic Study if you combine it with Fathom Mage.
Yeah, well, Fathom Mage, just like anything, is combined to make it insane because that card is. I think that card is very much underplayed in EDH, like in counters decks.
Mm.
Mostly because no one plays counters decks anymore.
I mean, I still do. I have my Volrath deck, led by your altar.
Like, yeah, I feel like Atraxa just took a lot of the air out of the room for counters decks.
That's one of the reasons that I like the Nephilim so much, is that, like, they're so freaking weird.
They're not Atraxa.
And they're not Atraxa. K&T is definitely, like, fine. Like,
I think K&T and Saskia and what's the other one? Oh no, Yidris is insane. But but yeah, K&T and Saskia are fine. The other three are just like ridiculous, and like we just need more options that aren't partner pairs, which are also ridiculous, and Omnath, which is also ridiculous.
Honestly, like, I'm just gonna shill for anyone who wants to build 4-color decks and have them be interesting. The Nephilim, other than Witchmaw can just, God, what a waste of a card.
Other than also Ink Shredder is not fun to play against.
I can imagine, like, yeah, no, Ink Shredder is the weird one where, like, I mean, the thing about the Nephilim decks is that they are definitely very, like, all or nothing. Like, Dune Brood is either has, like, 50 sand tokens, or is just sitting there doing nothing. Glint-Eye is definitely the most fun deck I have to play, and it's really funny because there are 2 decks on EDH that with Glint-Eye as the commander, and mine is one of them. So like but for some reason, like it's all like Eldrazi tribal and stuff, which is just like, what? But yeah, Glint-Eye is another one of those things. It's like, what if Cold-Eye Selkie with Oblivion Crown was your commander? That is literally Glint-Eye Nephilim and everything it does.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I do love, like, my jank pile 4-color tribal or 4-color decks, which are not remotely, like, optimized, really. Well, I guess Glint-Eye is pretty goddamn strong, but it's hard to avoid. When your commander says draw cards equal to combat damage dealt. But it is a 4-mana 2/2, so, you know.
Yeah. I feel like, yeah, all the Nephilim, like, even the Nephilim that have, like, ridiculous abilities still have stat lines that, like, are not very, like, at least they have the good grace to have not good stat lines, unlike Atraxa, which has, like, a million abilities.
Atraxa could lose. If Atraxa didn't have the line about proliferate, she'd still be amazingly good.
Yeah. Honestly, she needs to lose Vigilance first, because that is just, like...
Vigilance Death Touch is such a back-breaking combination.
Yeah, it's so unfun to play against, because it's just like, well, I can try to kill it, but even, like, you can just also not block and then take 4, and it has lifelink too.
Oh yeah, I will say, I really... some of the least fun I ever have is, like, if I'm against a deck that's just, like, because, you know, I love my stupid aggro piles. And it's just, like, a deck that's full of, like, six lifelinkers. Like, I literally have no profitable ability to interact with you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's always a bad time, but whatever. It's not the worst. Atraxa is the worst. No question.
Yeah. But again, I feel like most people, I mean, I guess I am not playing against, randoms pretty much anymore.
I mean,
but...
yeah, like, it is also, I gotta say, it's so weird knowing that, like, my experience of playing Magic in the Pandemic is so not typical. Like, the 2 main places I play are on a Discord full of people who like me enough to, like, be on my Discord, or chases streams which are full of people who have standing in the community and actually care how they come off. And it's just like this is so not representative of how most people are probably experiencing like Magic right now. I mean, like a couple weeks ago, I went on Play EDH just out of curiosity. I used a Discord account that like I have for other reasons. Like it's not connected to me at all. I didn't like identify myself, and I was playing the only deck I have that doesn't have any of my proxies in it, which is my unsleeved Calamax deck. It's just the vanilla precon. And somebody Hull Breachered on turn 3 with a wheel effect. It was like Windfall Hull Breacher turn 3. We were in low power as well.
Ah, jeez.
Like, you know, I definitely exaggerate how awful I think how like horrible I think that card is for like some amount of comedic effect, but it's just I don't think that once like events and public play and you know all that stuff is like a thing again, I don't think that card's gonna last long being unbanned.
No, I don't think so either.
Like I literally have a sideboard. It's like a 5-color sideboard of cards that I will slot in now. Like I just gonna start every game like, is Hull Breacher in rotation right now? If so, I'm slotting in Force of Will, Slaughter Pact, Red Elemental Blast, Lightning Bolt if it didn't already have it. I love Lightning Bolt, so it's probably already in my deck. But like it's that warping that like I just part of that is also just that I fucking love wheels. So it's like if I have to like if I can't do anything, you know, like I just think the idea of like we're gonna roll the dice, we're all gonna draw new cards, we're gonna see what happens. I just think that's really fun,
right?
And it's like if do it every time that happens, we are literally rolling the dice that if one player has 3 mana open, the game is just over. Like just
well,
over.
That's the way I feel about Smothering Tithe a little bit too. Like I have gotten completely over Smothering Tithe. I'm just like, I hate that card so much.
Yeah, I think part of my growth as a person was that I went through a lot of my decks and made it so that like there's like a 1 of rule for like Rhystic Study, Smothering Tithe, like also just because I realized like when I have proxied piles and piles of these best cards, like it makes all my decks feel the same.
Right.
So that's like something I've been doing, just make it them have more variety. But yeah, I think Smothering Tithe is I definitely do wonder which was designed first, Hull Breacher or Smothering Tithe.
Oh, Smothering Tithe by far. It came out.
But Commander Legends was in development for a really long time.
I don't think I would have thought because they don't really use like they hadn't been using treasure tokens widely against
I mean, I think like especially when I look at when you look at the pirate theme in Commander Legends, I think that it really started development seriously during Ixalan. Cause like it just seems really weird to have a pirate theme otherwise. Like
yeah, that does make sense.
Like nowhere else have pirates been relevant really. Not even the almighty powerhouse that is Pirate Ship, which is just I goddamn love that card, and I will die on the hill of it being a hilarious stupid meme. But it also goes infinite with Malcolm if you set it up right, which is really funny.
That's pretty great.
Yeah, I mean, like I've detailed my responding to chat. I've detailed my issues with Hull Breacher extensively. I think that the design space that it occupies is actually really interesting and should exist. It's just that I think the knobs are all turned wrong. It's got relevant creature types. It's 3 mana. It's flash. It doesn't say an effect your opponents control. It's not 1 white blue. it's just like there's so many individual changes that could have been made that I think would have made it like totally fine. Like it would be a menace and not something that I literally have a 20 card sideboard I'm putting into my deck if it's in play. Like that is where it should be, but it's not. Oh well. All right, let's get back to shading this echoey thing. God, this shading tool is so powerful. Like, look at that. Just woo! Look at that. That was three brush strokes, and I oh right, I have to zoom in on this one, and I got that. Very nice.
Pretty good.
Then let's do the. Where is it?
Yeah, it's funny because like I haven't even played against an opposition agent yet, which I feel like got more bad press when the set was coming out than Hullbreacher did.
I have played against an opposition agent, and you have seen the kind of mana bases I run.
Mm-hmm.
And I felt like I entirely deserved what happened. Like
I feel again. Sorry, go ahead.
Like, yes, it shut me out of the game because I run ludicrous mana bases full of duels and fetches. But the person in that game who had like an unmodified, not like unmodified precon, but like who was not running that kind of optimization literally was not affected in the slightest.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that it's good that such a powerful hate effect is like more punishing to optimized decks, generally speaking.
Yeah, I feel like again, if there was some way to turn the knobs on that card so it just doesn't randomly hose people. But again, if you're in a higher power level, it doesn't really matter all that much.
Well, that's the thing is that like I don't think it really randomly hoses people. Even okay, like a super casual deck will maybe have like a Terramorphic Expanse, and an Evolving Wilds. It does punish, green ramp, which is like
a
super
good thing
budget,
to punish.
but like honestly, good. that is like. There's a reason that one of my most powerful decks is also like my super duper cheapest one that has like almost no proxies in it. It's just that it's a mono green deck that has ramp in the command zone in the form of Nylea. Like it's just what do you do against this deck that just barfs out 6 drops like turn like 3 or whatever. But yeah, that one I also did put a Jeweled Lotus into, which I honestly think it's so funny. People were so worried about.
I could not believe how people reacted to Jeweled Lotus. I was like, this card seems decent. Like it seems pretty good in the right decks.
Yeah, no, there's definitely decks that love it. Like
it's in my Muldrotha deck.
The Theros gods, I think every single one should have it. Cause you like for a lot of decks, it's just like, okay, Jeweled Lotus. I got my big scary commander out. I mean, I guess obviously Arbiter Augustus III is also one of these decks that is really good in, but like in most cases, just like, okay, well, I still have 7 cards in hand, and one of these is a removal spell, so guess what's happening now?
Yeah.
Whereas the Theros gods are really hard to hit early on, and they are just kind of general value engines. So I have a deck for most of the Theros gods. Or not most. I have Thassa, Heliod, and Nylea. Okay, that is most. I get the monocolored one specifically. And I think they're fine. I mean, my Heliod deck is also like barely not CDH in the kinds of cards it runs, despite still being significantly weaker than my mono green deck. Yeah, I would definitely say like the card is for sure scary if you're like in groups without lots of removal. Again, like you know, LK and I, our perspective is warped by the fact that we play almost exclusively with other creators, and
I also think people should run more. I will always say run more removal. So
yeah, and run good. I mean, I've actually hit the point where I'm like, you know what? I don't need to be running Assassin's Trophy in every goddamn deck. Let's put in something more interesting. Like, I'm so glad you told me about that promo Walk the Plank.
oh yeah.
Cause like especially with when I'm already running Brea, I feel like I really need to like put examples of like, you don't understand. This is Brea because pirates and treasures. I'm not like, I don't have a combo plan here. It's like I took out like I forget what I took out, but it was something very good so that I could put in oh, that looks really cool actually. Oh, that's interesting.
That is interesting. I don't know.
Okay, which was the layer? This one. Okay, that's very interesting. What if... I love that. Because it is now, like, distinct from the original art, or the original thing, while clearly still being recognizable. Like, now this is like this space vortex that's, like, filling up a planet. Yeah, that's awesome. And all I did was accidentally hide the wrong layer. I love that. No, that doesn't look good. Oh yeah, so I think I'm gonna do a little aside now and actually talk about how I put together these frames. So I'm gonna go over to my little cheat sheet over here. I'm gonna realize Crucible of Worlds is a long name and get nervous. So yeah, I am not good at making fonts, so this is how I'm gonna assemble the text rather than just typing like a sane person. So yeah, we're gonna have a minute here. I am, oh god, like so it can only be this wide. Crucible of Worlds and then mana cost. I think it might just it should just like barely make it. I might have to do what I did on Wheel of Fortune, make of really small. All right. Crucible. Crucib. Oh. Oh. Oh, I think I can just barely make it. I definitely need to do more with my other pixel art frame, the one that I made for the MDFCs, because I really need to make more of those cards. I'm like I used to be like so like, god, I hate tap lands, but now it's like, oh my god, I can run more spells and more lands. And now I just want to have all the MDFCs.
I get that the MDFCs are good. I just like, it feels bad to take like say I'm taking like Eternal Witness out for the regrowth one or something. Like in most cases that would probably be fine, but like it feels bad to take a strictly like a better version of the card out for a worse version of the effect, even though like it can also be a tap land.
I don't know where I'm at on it, honestly. Like I feel like for in most cases, yeah, it is definitely good that I'm not running Assassin's Trophy in Brea, though. I would 100% like rule 0 in Vraska if I could. Like, if I could just make Vraska the commander and say, but I'm also a 5-color deck, I would absolutely do that, but... you know... I think I do that enough, as is.
I feel like there's definitely, like, a point to like where stretching the limits of Rule Zero is like okay.
Yeah, I live on that line.
Like I get the point where like yeah, it's like I definitely want people to be able to do cool stuff
Hmm.
and but I also feel like there's a point to like restrictions breed creativity and
Hmm. I think I'm definitely like the kindest about stuff that enables something totally unique. Like, you know, obviously my Squadron Hawk deck is a pretty good example of something
mhm.
something wholly unique and bizarre that is only possible because of the Rule Zero thing. Oh. As well as just a really fun deck to play. Oh, that looks hideous. Let's see. I can just barely cram it in. Crucible of Worlds costs 3, right? Five colored good stuff with Hull Breacher as your commander. Yeah, no, that's not the kind of Magic I want to play. Is all I'll say. Um,
And I think there's like, and most people I see like doing Rule Zero, wanting to do Rule Zero stuff is like in good faith.
yeah. Like
Um,
sometimes I forget even that the Nephilim aren't 100% legal by default. Like there was a game like a couple weeks ago where I just like Nephil, and I was like, oh yeah, my commander's a Nephilim, and someone was like, wait, what? And then I remembered that they're not legal by default.
mhm.
But you know, like they're all just so weird that nobody is like, you know, you're like, oh, you know, it's like, oh, I could switch to Yidris if you want.
Oh yeah. Well, that's the other thing is when people use like Rule Zero as a threat. Like, oh, I could like.
I mean, I joke about doing that, but never once have I actually like I love joking that like, oh, you know, I could take Squadron Hawk out and put in like Armageddon, Walking Ballista combo, like all that. But no, if somebody doesn't want to do it, I'm just gonna not play that deck. It is funny though. It is very funny. Okay, let's see. Can I?
I would love Gisela and Bruna to be a Rule Zero deck because they're not even that good.
Oh, I've
Like,
played against that. It's totally fine.
yeah, like I play Gisela and Bruna in a couple decks, and
I
like
bet they're
you
both
get
in
it.
Sisay. They're both in Sisay, aren't
They're
they?
definitely both in Sisay.
Okay.
You can get them. You can flip it over in foil. I mean, foil Brazella. Um, but yeah, it's just like they're not that good, and like they have a ability that protects them from removal, but not it doesn't protect them from all removal.
Of
So
yeah, like the interesting thing is that like the Bruna and Gazella deck that I played was not really like it wasn't like it was kind of just an angel tribal deck in like
mhm.
um all right, let me layer new group. So now I'm going to do frame elements. New layer. But yeah, it was definitely an interesting one. I mean, some of the most fun I've had playing Magic has just been like weird, like a deck brewing challenge where it was like we did like I came up with a specific set of keywords that couldn't be on the card, but that any uncommon was legal as a commander.
Oh, I love like deck building challenges and stuff like that. I wish, you know, that's one of the reasons I like Magic Online over Arena is the opportunity cost of getting the cards is so much cheaper that you can sort of do that like crazy deck building thing.
Oh wait, hold on. I'm getting a phone call.
This is the part where Megan takes a phone call. She has muted herself. Has she muted me? Only one way to find out.
All right, love you too. All right, we will have to take a break for a minute for me to bring up some groceries in a moment. But
All right.
until that happens, I'm gonna continue assembling this Crucible of Worlds frame. So I have over here my Jace frame. I'm just gonna steal my outline layer from. New layer. Outline. Let's paint it something else. So that already looks pretty damn cool.
It's looking good.
Dang. That just it's also really funny after I spent so long fiddling with the design of the silver one that it's just like okay. So I guess I probably want to move everything else around a little bit. Not that one. All these. Let's scooch them around. Okay, that's as far as I can go. And I do have a huge bleed area off the side of my cards because when I do printing, the particular method that I use can be imprecise. So I like have my cards extend way out to the side so that if they are not aligned correctly, they still look good. Where is it? Oh, nope, there we go. Oh, okay, yeah, no, I did unmute myself. I was like, oh no, did I?
No, you're fine. All right, at least you're fine. I can hear you. I don't know if anyone else can. But...
well, I'm just gonna assume I'm good. Yeah, Crucible of Worlds. Let me see. Let me go. Now I'm gonna go and grab my this. Get rid of. Well, whatever. I'll keep the doubling cube rules text because it doesn't really matter right now. Frame elements. Paste that in. Line it up with that, and then. Whee! So yeah, that looks pretty cool.
Yep, looking good. Did it shift when you dragged it down?
That's what these lines are for. Okay, that's on that one. And nope, it's still aligned. And then my artist credit and copyright would be right here. What is the exact rules text at Crucible Worlds? You may play land cards from your graveyard, right?
I believe so. Yes.
All right. You may play lands from your graveyard. Because cards, while technically required for it to work correctly within the rules, seems redundant. Let me grab these, move them. I could move these all onto separate layers if I was smarter. All right, move those down here.
Seems like a lot of work, though.
Yeah, just like all the extra work that I do on my pixel art because I'm too lazy to figure out how to like make a font or whatever. Okay, that lines up. Can I just do this as 2 lines? I will be so happy if I can. All right. Yes! Okay, now to just correct the text. This is a font that is extremely similar to the one that I designed, so I just use it and then I correct the changes. Because I mean, you know, it's not that big a deal. Good thing that Magic doesn't have lots and lots and lots of the lots and lots of instance of the letter Y, right? That would be just silly. Erase those. That. Oh, gotta move. Ah! Come on. There we go. from your graveyard. Okay, so right. Ooh. Alright. Oh, and the G. Okay. So now, select that color to make the shadow. I think I will also, when I'm done with groceries, I will show how I would make this frame part from scratch, because that is probably going to be of interest to many people. Even though I won't use the one that I made from scratch, because, you know, I've got this right here. All right, and then copy that. I should not be working in untitled, unsaved Crucible. There we go. Get rid of this. Oh, so here's something I wonder. Okay, did you get involved in the GameStop catastrophe?
I did not. I steer clear of stock market because I have a very clear rule: is if I don't understand something, I don't put money into it.
That's a very good rule. I did not do that. I didn't lose a ton. In fact, I was up 800%. Oh, AS spray is $20 now. Okay, let me change that. I want to be more accurate. Where is my text? Used to be. In fact, I think I bought AS spray for like $5 originally because I did it a long time ago. All right, $20 on Steam. I want to be accurate here. But yeah, so I did invest. I started with just like money I literally had lying around in an account, doing nothing. Like literally $50 or so. I doubled that. Then I doubled it again. I added $400 from like just checking because I was doing well, and then I pulled out at the when it was at like 300 and I had $800. Which is not bad considering that was like a pure profit of like 350.
Yeah.
Then at the very end, I got greedy and FOMO hit me, and I was like, what if it goes even higher?
Oh no.
So yeah, I pulled out. I pulled out again. And the amount in my Fidelity account is now $470. I made $20 total.
Well, at least you didn't lose money.
Yeah,
I mean, you like quote unquote lost money, but you didn't actually lose money.
I carefully laddered it in such a way that after that initial thing, like, because I was totally fine to just throw away the $50 for entertainment purposes. But then after that, like when I bought back in, it was I left that 50 that I'd started with out of the buy. And it wasn't like just GameStop. I was messing with some of the other stonks too, but like I was being very careful, but then like, you know, greed got me.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I just feel I am deeply worried for people who were playing with real money.
Yeah, that's what I'm worried about, is like a lot of people, I feel like a lot of people did sort of buy in
yeah,
like to this idea that you could make money off of it, and it's like there's a reason that these people are already like doing this sort of thing. Like they already know what they're doing to at least some extent.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I just I have a friend who like bought in at 300 or something like that for like $6,000, and I just feel really bad for her because I don't know, it's just sad. It was always kind of pyramid schemey, and I feel like I feel like on some level a teeny bit guilty for like the fact that I was even talking about it at all when it was going on, though I at no point did I encourage anyone to do it.
Well, I feel, yeah, it's tough because, like, yeah, like even like pay like build it like responding to it in a way that like allows people to see how it's going on.
Mhm.
I don't feel like that's a direct line of um like responsibility, but it
Yeah, it's
also
not that I feel
is.
like directly responsible. It's just that like I feel I don't know. I am okay. So you know how like I've gone on and on like on in various places about like how like the other person who goes by Sheepwave is like my number one enemy or whatever, and I'm gonna
Mhm.
like destroy them or just silly jokes because like I was mad that that their Google results were like before mine or something. Somebody posted something. Like, I think it was like Jake Boss on Twitter posted like he like posted something like some garbage pail kid things like don't
Oh
Google
yeah.
yourself, and I was like, I'm curious. And then I was like, oh my god, I'm the first result now. And I'm like, and I had like a solid 2 minutes of being like, yeah, I feel awesome. And then I was like, what if I made that other one sad? And this is just my personality. I am I'm like I'm like such a I don't know. Is the term like bleeding heart? Like I'm just like
No, I totally understand that though. It's yeah, it can be
like after
tough
like
sometimes.
after like making this whole joke about how like this is like my mortal enemy or whatever. It's like, "Oh yeah, now I win." It's like, "Oh, but did I oh. Now are they going to feel like sad?" And it's just like ah!
I mean, I don't know if that person even like
I
knows
don't
or
even know if I
cares.
don't know I
So
don't know if
like
they're even active. Like it's like why I don't think they are. It's like it's so silly, but I can't. Where is the? There we go. Do. So yeah, that is looking pretty dang cool. I am extremely here. Let's turn the grid off. So one thing I do with my pixel art stuff is you can see like down here where the there's this little thing. Um, this is actually where the let me open up. No, it's not that one. What is it? It's like open recent. Sure, smothering tithe, whatever. So like I have this separate part that's actually like when I'm making these, I actually double the resolution once, and then I just have this bottom line. Oh, that's the wrong year. Where's the? I thought I corrected that. Oh well. Um. So like yeah, I have this piece that's in its own um thing. So like if I was gonna like export this as a final, I just increase the size to 200. Where is that? Get rid of. Oh well, okay. Smothering tithe, sure. Let me just line it up and then get rid of the smothering tithe part. This has been the secret of everything I do alter-wise, is it's all just like stacked on top of the previous version.
that would drive me crazy. I do that sometimes with like watermarks. I'm not good about like deleting old watermarks, so I'll have a file with like 3 or 4 watermarks in it. But otherwise, I'm just like, you know, like reusing text layers and stuff like that. But
Well, like that's what I do is like every single alter I've done is like a descendant. So, okay, not every single one, but like a lot of them are like a descendant of like an earlier, I forget which one it was. I think it was like Villas Broker of Blood. Like one of my earliest was when I actually stopped using MSC as my as my my text layout program. Like even stuff like my Alesha that I did like over a year ago, that was, I did the text in MSE because I'm just a gremlin like that.
I just copy all my text from Scryfall.
Oh no, I mean like I was using MSE to actually do the text layouts, and then I would export it at 400% on
Oh
like
my
a custom one. It
goodness.
was
That
it
is
was
oh no.
it was the most stupid jank workaround imaginable.
Oh, you know there are fonts, right?
Yeah, no, I know that now. And here's the thing. Yeah, I know that because they came with MSC.
Yes.
But yet now I'm just like, frames, what are those? Get that out of here. I've kind of gone back though because Card Conjurer has my cartoon frame on it now. I actually have just been using Card Conjurer to make the cartoon frames lately. Because
I mean, Card Conjurer is very pretty.
It is very good, but also like it was literally based on my frame, so it's like, well, you know, here we go. It's already made. Yeah, that looks, I'm real happy with that. So yeah, that's how I do pixel. Well, I'm kind of happy with it. I still have some correcting to do. Let's see. So one last layer I'm gonna do. Just gonna. Oh shoot. Yeah. Well, that's, and therein lies the problem of once you double the resolution. Well, whatever. I will fill in a corner there. Fill in a corner there. Copy. New. Okay. And then I will delete there and scale it back down. But yeah, like, I don't know, so much of the way that I do stuff is just these stupid workarounds that I'm too lazy to fix. Like, oh, yeah?
You didn't get my text?
I didn't get your text. Here, alright, it's time for me to go get some groceries.
Alright, I'm gonna.
You're up. You have to entertain them for a few minutes.
Oh, alright. So, what does everyone think? Time for a deep talk now. Babies come from the stork. So the stork has a giant cabbage patch field up in Greenland. And so whenever a couple wants a baby, or a single person wants a baby, storks come from stork eggs, which are laid by Quark the owl stork that lives on the top of Greenland and lays stork eggs that hatch and form baby storks. Anyways, the storks then take the babies that grow in the cabbage patch fields of Greenland and they deliver to couples or single people who want babies. Next question. I think the Chiefs are going to take it for the Super Bowl. I feel like they are the better like four-quarter team. Tampa Bay like completely fell apart in the second half of the NFC Championship game, and if that had happened against the Chiefs, I feel like they would have won it. Like I just think that the Chiefs have the explosiveness, and if Brady has as many turnovers as he has been shown to have at points this season, then the Chiefs can take it. Also, I hate Tom Brady, so. I don't think he has it to take what I don't think he has what it takes to play until he's 50. I think he has another couple years left in him. But I do think he's declining a bit. I mean, he has excellent weapons in Tampa Bay compared to what he had like last season in New England, which is definitely helping. But I don't think he. I think he's probably got like another season or two left in him. Then he's drinking, whatever magic water his quack trainer is giving him. Speaking of football, I decided to make a football-themed EDH deck based on a separate conversation. So I am Googling Scryfalling cards right now. I decided to make Brian Stoutarm the commander. Brassman. That's the second time that card's come up this week. There is a Brassman art from an old Magic calendar that it's really weird and not very good art, but I just don't have any desire into a Brassman altar. But Brian Stoutarm seems like a good guy to have as your quarterback. Oh, that's a good one. Rage Thrower. How does one spell Colosseum? Ooh, collective effort, collective defiant. So I looked up defenders to go into a Boros deck. There aren't a ton of great defenders, but there is actually a card called Great Defender from Legends.
Oh?
Yeah, I'm making a football themed EDH.
What? Oh my god. That sounds amazing. See, I am not good at like documenting things. It's always funny when people are like, I think Tappy posted something like when people ask me for the deck list is like, you must truly be desperate.
See, I started doing deck lists because then I could look at my deck list when I wanted to make tutoring decisions.
See, I just have like a totally different tutoring philosophy. Because like, I cast a tutor and I'm like, let's find out. Like, I don't have a plan when I tutor. Oh, no.
Brian would have a very good 40 time, right? Because he's a giant, so he would.
Oh my god, are you making the giants?
Well, no, I'm just making Brian Stoutarm the commander. Because I mean, come on, he's the best quarterback. He's got a stout arm. He throws stuff real good.
Oh my god. All right. Well, I think Crucible of Worlds looks done to me. So I'm gonna save that and I'm gonna close it. So for the second part of this streamy stream. I'm gonna see about drawing Jace, and I'm probably gonna comment on it less while I'm going because there's just gonna be less to talk about. Let me.
Oh, I could include Arena of the Ancients, but that does not combo well with that deck.
Wait. So what colors are you?
It's Boros. So I've got Ancient Amphitheater. I'm definitely gonna include either Arena or Magus of the Arena.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, Arena Athlete. That's a good one. Except it doesn't really fit. Maybe I'll do Arena Rector.
Oh God! What enchantment would you be getting exactly?
That's Academy Rector, not Arena Rector. Arena Rector gets Planeswalkers.
Oh, okay, got it.
Spectator Seating. That's the new land.
You should get your hands on one of mine because they're very pretty. Jace Balloon shoes must. Okay, all right, hold on. Where's that task manager?
Oh yes, Stadium. That's a good name. What did I do with that tab? Did I close it? I have this bad habit of closing tabs when I'm not done with them.
I have this bad habit of never closing tabs and then wondering why when I'm streaming, my computer starts slowing to a crawl.
Oh, there's Stadium vendors too from Battle Bond.
There are so many Streamlabs processes. Oh my god. I don't even want to think about that right now. Okay, so Jace, Valerian, Scry, Fall. I'm gonna see if I can like make that original art that I was like so traumatized by that I quit Magic. I'll pretend that that's the reason. It's funnier. Right, he's got like a you know, I think I'm gonna do like a close-up headshot.
You should do the one from the dual decks where his hair is all flying up like a Super Saiyan.
Oh, you anime Jace? Well, this
no,
is
not even anime Jace. Just there's a completely English version.
No, I mean the
hair.
Jace where he looks like an anime protagonist that isn't even like the specifically like anime one.
Oh yeah.
And they've printed this card a lot. But no, I want to do like the OG art and kind of like give it that look. I think I might do a little bit more Mind Sculptor though. Because I think I'm gonna do Jace the Mind Sculptor, but I'm gonna actually make it myself, cosplaying E-Girl Jace. That's gonna be fun. You know what? I think I'm just gonna go with a totally original art angle and see how that goes. So yeah, let's see. This is definitely the part where unfortunately I can't be that instructive because if you don't know how to draw, then seeing me do the pixel art part isn't gonna help. But hopefully I can at least show that like this kind of stuff is way easier than it looks. If there's one takeaway I would love for people to have it's that this pixel art stuff is actually like the easiest ever. Like for when I do commissions, pixel art is actually significantly cheaper than everything else just because it's so much easier. So like, you know, if you want to commission me to do just like, hey, like, you know, you're gonna do where is it? Like where is it? Like if you want to commission something like this, go for it. Anyway, back to drawing Jace. There are no strong cyans on my color palette, and no, that doesn't make any sense because cyan is a print color. Have you ever had like one of those times when like you printed a card and it just looks like absolute trash because you didn't account for CYMK printing?
Um, Not usually. I don't know. I don't I don't honestly usually see the difference between like CMYK printing and like RPG color space. So and
Deflecting
I have
SWAT
a
as a blocked pass is amazing advice from chat right
oh
now.
yeah. I also have like a little bit, not a ton of like professional printing experience.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean
I guess also like you're using more found art, whereas I'm like doing things,
exactly that
and like
too.
you look at my palette over here and you're like, I sure did pick this color, not planning for how that looks when printed. When printed, this color looks like this one, if anything.
Yeah,
Like,
most of my colors are already chosen
mm-hmm.
for me.
I think magic cards are printed with red and green though. I could be wrong, but like it seems like they might be 6-tone printed. I would have to like look at one.
I think they might be.
Just
I
reach around.
remember people like zooming in with jeweler's loops.
Oh yeah, like that thick red on the mountain. That sure ain't magenta. I still can't believe that they're using like literally a default Photoshop bevel on the mount on
Oh
the
yeah.
mana symbols. Like it's been so long.
There's some the bevel like and like especially compared to like the current showcase frames where like the work is so good. Like the bevel on just like even like the basic cards, the bevel on the border is like whoa.
Yeah.
I'm sure like the James Arnold or whoever designs the cards like is just like really would love to get another shot at some of those.
Yeah, I mean, they can only change the frame so often. Although they do like make some kind of alternate frame every set now.
Every set now has some kind of alternate frame.
Yeah, which I think is pretty cool. Like, I don't know if you could tell, but I'm kind of pro frame experimentation.
Yeah, I think it's cool. I do think there's some sort of argument for having continuity
Yeah.
and like an ease of processing of board state.
Yeah, that is definitely one of the downsides. It's something that like I had never really taken into consideration because I have a rather extreme vision disability, which may be obvious from the fact that I'm hunched over my drawing thing, like literally like a couple inches away. But I already can't see other people's boards, so I've never really thought about it.
Mm-hmm.
And it like it's kind of it only started to be a thing I realized when it's like oh, I can't click on that with spell table, and I was like, oh right, because people are used to being able to tell what people's board states are without asking them. Like there was definitely this period like early on in the pandemic times where it was like everyone was like me because we were all on like what was it like Wereby or whatever.
Yeah.
And it's like that didn't have the ability to scan cards. God, I remember that like some people were like diehards for Wereby. They were like, I'm never switching or virtual EDH is never gonna catch on.
Yeah, it is like I also am a little lucky or because I just have not every card, but most cards that are played in EDH like living rent free in my head. So like it's easier for me to process a board state than most people.
Yeah, I definitely kind of just like have taken attitude sometimes of like I'm just gonna go, and if there was something real obvious, I trust the people I'm with to be like, nah, you because like that's just the nature of webcam games. I had issues before before in like not webcam, but now I'm in this spot where like it's gonna be weird going back to LGSs and stuff for me. Cause like you, well, while your face isn't hidden, hasn't you haven't had your face like particularly public on things,
Yeah.
and I'm just like, I like every like couple weeks or so, I like check up on the proxy video that Spice 8 Rack put out, and I'm just like, that is gonna be, that is just gonna change the way that like I end up interacting in spaces, and it's weird.
Well, I think it's weird for you more than me. Like, it's been like you're sort of like blowing up period in the community has been during this whole time.
Yeah,
And
like I
so,
wasn't
like,
really active in the community before before the pandemic. Like I have been to one magic event in my life, and it was when I was 6 or 15. And you know, I expect to have a very different experience than that was. Certainly hope so anyway. It's like I've never experienced that, and it's just gonna be, it's gonna be interesting. I'm definitely looking forward to like actually get to meet all the friends I've made in the last year in person.
mm-hmm.
Like, you know, as soon as there's a magic event in like you know, middle latitude East Coast, I'm gonna take a trip to your part of the country, that's for sure. 'Cause I've like, there's so many people. It's just wild to think like I've made so many friends in the last year. Now I'm just getting introspective.
Yeah, that always, like, when people talk about that sort of stuff, I always sort of get like that. It's sort of like imposter syndrome, sort of fear. It's like, oh no, what if people don't like me though?
Yeah, I tweeted this yesterday, but then I decided to delete it because it was just like, you know what? I don't need to put this into the tweet right now. While the snake token was blowing up, was like, the only two moods I have for like my place in the community are 100% imposter syndrome or like 100% delusions of grandeur, and there's no in between. It's like either I'm convinced that I'm the best thing ever, or I'm like, everyone hates me. I need to look up Jace Blair, not Scryfall. I just need to look up the pattern on his face. Images. Just need his face. Where is his face? Facey face? Jace face. Come on. Okay, he's got like the, that, and what is the shape on this side? Because he's like, Jace is basically, Jace's design is always like, he's either Han Solo or Luke Skywalker.
I've never thought about it that way.
And
Oh,
like,
no.
like different artists like change like how much, like how much in the mix, like how much Luke Skywalker and how much Han Solo there is. Like a shirtless Jace is way more on the Luke Skywalker side, but like the one I'm looking at here is very Han, like Jace the Living Guildpact is very Han Solo. Yeah, no, once you've seen it, I've ruined this character forever. So he's also got like these like, I don't sleep eyes. Jace is so goddamn anime. It's,
I like the thing. I mean, I don't like any of Jace's character design, but I think the thing I hate most about it is his stupid like belt outfit.
God,
Like,
the belts!
he looks like a Final Fantasy character.
The belts!
Like, where did he get that? How bad does it smell?
Oh no.
Like, does he have casual clothes?
Just, oh god, that's depressing to think about.
Like, I loved it when he was in Innistrad and he wore that coat because at least it was a
Ooh, coat.
outfit.
Yeah, he's. I mean, the the Ixalan was, to many people, I think, just the best Jace ever got, and you know, because I'm one of those weirdos that actually cares about the story, no matter how many times it hurts me. I never learned my lesson. Um, but yeah, I don't know. Having him like actually figure out his place in the universe was pretty neat.
And then they messed it all up.
Yeah.
And then Zendikar, like Zendikar Rising story, just makes me so angry
I see.
because they like started back with like we're having story again, we're gonna do it, and then the whole story is like Nahiri's like I want to do this thing that's obviously a bad idea, and Nissa is like no, I'm gonna stop you from doing this thing. I'll ask Jace for help, and Jace is like I don't know, maybe it's a good idea to help Nahiri, and Liz is like no, it's a bad idea, and Jace is like uh-oh, you're right. It was a bad idea. I'm an idiot.
So you do think that Nahiri is the most Karen planeswalker, right?
Oh, absolutely. 100%.
I think second is probably Kiora, but she's got like that. She's like that like she's not exactly I want to speak to your manager, but she's just got like that severe entitlement, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Like I'm just gonna go to Theros and steal this fucking trident from like one of the 5 main gods of this realm and just fuck off. Let them deal with the like any potential fallout from pissing off a god. I'm just gonna bounce by. I think this Jace is bad. I think this looks bad. Well, you win some, you lose some. Here, maybe I will. Where is it? Flip it horizontally, move it around, do some. You know what I'll do? I'll scale it down and make it a smaller composition. When in doubt, just make it a smaller part of the composition and don't bother fixing it. Actually, honestly, the pixel art looks better at this size anyway.
One of the other things that actually bothers me about Jace is how ill-defined his powers are.
Yeah, it's like it's weird because his powers are really defined in the cards. Like he draws cards and he mills, but
yeah,
but like
they don't really match up with his like I guess the milling and like the mental stuff matches up, but like then he also does illusions.
yeah, there's like a couple cards where he's like made illusion tokens or like made copies of himself, but they've never really fleshed out that side of things, and it's always a little vague about like, okay, so he can do this. Why is he useful?
Right?
Especially because like okay, so in the kinds of stories that he was present in originally, that made total sense because they were like he was like infiltrating, like espionage, learning things. He's very blue mage, but now they're like, hey, we're gonna fight gods every other week.
Uh-huh. He's like, cool, I will make an illusion.
I mean, I guess it's not like every other week. I am definitely excited for new Phyrexia time.
To Phyrexia.
Phyrexia.
I'm gonna tweet that.
Yeah, no, that's a good tweet. Do it now before someone in chat steals it. Yeah, I'm excited for that because like there's not a chance that like they're gonna let Vorinclex rotate out of standard without, you know. There's just no way, right? Right? They wouldn't.
The problem is, and I think like moving from set to like model to the just every location, every set is a big set and every big set is a new location model,
Mm-hmm.
helps move the story along because obviously we know we're getting Strixhaven and D&D and Innistrad through the rest of the year. So maybe we're getting new Phyrexia at the top of 2022.
Yeah, that's kind of what I think. I mean, it seems likely that like what's gonna happen is that they're gonna drop one Praetor. There'll probably be like one Praetor per set, and they're just like slowly turning up. I definitely some people seemed like really mad about them breaking like the planeswalking rules, so to speak. But I honestly think that those rules have not. That was the one change that the mending made that it shouldn't have.
Yeah, I don't think it helped the story.
It doesn't add anything. It just forces the story to focus on these characters that, like, by definition will be less invested in the plane in the people, the other people in the story than they otherwise would be.
Mm-hmm.
And
I get why they did it at the time. It's one of those things where I'm a big casual comic book fan in that I don't read comic books, but I read a lot of the lore behind comic books.
Oh, same. I've read so many wiki articles about
yes.
Warhammer.
So in DC Comics, originally they had several, a ton of different universes, and it was really complicated. And in the 80s they did Crisis on Infinite Earths to collapse it down to one universe and make it just and then they had a lot of strict rules about it. And then eventually writers wanted to write more stories with alternate Earths, and they did explicitly out of continuity stories for a while, and then eventually they just brought back the multiverse, and then they collapsed it again, and they brought it back again 5 more times. That's the same thing I feel is with the mending, is there was a good reason at the time to make it so only planeswalkers could move between planes, but that time has passed.
Yeah, I think any rule in a setting should add something to that setting. If it isn't serving a narrative purpose to only have planeswalkers be able to jump around, I'm totally fine with it being a soft rule, so to speak.
Mm-hmm.
It's still generally a rule, but for when it makes more sense to break it.
Yeah, and I think it's much more interesting to have Vorinclex appear on Kaldheim than it is for him not to do that, right?
Yeah, the story is going to be better for that. Oh god, that is not how a nose works at all. I'm already bad at drawing noses, and then I have 12 pixels to do it with, and I'm just oh god, what am I doing?
Although I feel really bad for the poor world building team, because they basically quadrupled their amount of work, and then they went to Kaldheim, and you have to design a realm for.
Oh yeah, aren't there
each
12
of the
Viking?
Them? There are 10, I believe.
Oh yeah, 10 because it's each.
It's yeah, it's well, it's also what Magic does now when they do a top-down set is they have to take the original thing and change it very, very slightly.
Mm-hmm.
So it's oh, there are 9 realms originally. Oh, there's 10 now.
God, wouldn't Magic be better if somehow, some way, the 5 colors only had 9 combinations of 2? I know that isn't how numbers work, but just imagine if it was somehow.
That would be really fun. Just
I mean, I know for a long time that's kind of how it worked, because blue-green just wasn't a thing. Because they couldn't figure out how to make cards for it, and now they'd figured it out, but they're like, oh no, oh no, oh no.
well, for a long time there just like weren't any enemy colored cards. Like they just like would make like one every 5 years or so.
Yeah,
And
now
then
that's
they did
that's the case with
Ravnica.
like the shards. Like there were,
Yeah.
I'm sure, I think there was a point where there was more like, there were more or not shards, I mean wedges. When there were more like shard cards than there were like Simic cards. Like more 3-color than 2-color of one specific combination.
Oh yeah.
Of course, like for me, having like really sunk my teeth in like right before Ravnica, it just 2-color just feels natural to me. Like it's just like, oh yeah, there's 2 colors and they have this like somewhat defined identity. And I'm just like I don't know.
Yeah, and back before that, like they did this thing where like they would like purposely like not put things in sets before they like went back to do them as a major theme. So like there wouldn't be multicolored cards for like years before Ravnica. And then like right before like the set before Mirrodin, Scourge has like one artifact in it or like 2 artifacts in it or something. Like ridiculously low numbers. And then they finally realized that that's a poor way to craft a standard environment, and also like
I mean,
it's more fun when different like things that people like appear.
I definitely think I like the fact that like different parts of Magic are always in flux. Like right now, at least in theory, like Nico on in Kaldheim. Nico is literally like a Theros card on Kaldheim, which I think is interesting because I think that like a year later, like this card that mechanically like would be perfect in Theros is appearing in like a different set. And I feel like they kind of have more faith in people to be paying attention for longer now. But yeah, there's definitely it is also like, it seems like there's the entire time I've cared about Standard, which is like when someone on a Discord I'm in is talking about it, I'll briefly pretend to care, just for the sake of talking because it's fun. But it's like, you know, I've never really cared about Standard.
Yeah.
But it's like, wait, Jace has eyebrows, right? That seems like a weird question, but I don't know for sure. I don't know. It seems like, especially like with the period we're in now, where they're like, where they push things to experiment more, which is something I think is good, but I don't play constructed formats, so I don't really care.
I just don't know if they're doing it to experiment more is the problem. Like I think they're just making cards more exciting.
Well,
which is good in a theoretical sense, but not great in a like you have to play this card in tournament sense.
yeah, I feel immensely grateful that I don't play tournament Magic. It's just it isn't really how I like function, how I like think. Cause like I'm just the archetypical like Jenny. Like I even like my craziest, most powerful deck Kess is like, sure, it has infinite combos, but those are so that I can do stupid shit like cast 50,000 copies of Lightning Bolt. like One with Nothing is a card that I'm determined to put in a deck. Like I will make it good. Does he have like, he has like this shoulder design thing? Yeah, okay, it's like a big white whatever. I don't think I'm gonna finish Jace on this stream because I think
That's
think,
all right. I might need to go to eat dinner.
yeah, I think it'll be time to wrap up soon. But I am very happy with this. Where did I put? Oh, I closed it. Right. Let me export out my Crucible. Sprite size 200. All right. Layer, new layer. Go. That. Okay. On this one. Oops. Oh, gotta fix that one. Honestly, whatever. I'm just gonna make it black. Paint it black. That looks pretty dang good. I think I'm gonna do some final color correction in Photoshop, but after that, I'm gonna post this on Twitter, and I hope anyone watching has learned something while we just talked nonsense for however long it was. 2 hours, something like that. So yeah, I don't know. This is where plugs go, but I'm just too lazy. If you're watching the stream, you already know it all. Oh, you can feel free to plug away before I close out. If you
yeah, let me find my link tree real quick. There's my link tree. Go look at my stuffs. That's it. That's my plug.
All right. Well, there we go. Have a great evening, everyone. Bye.
Bye.